What's up, guys? Welcome to the Blues and Stripes. So not really much to talk about with this game, but I do want to address the Maresca situation because obviously a lot has been built up to this match as far as his comments after the Everton match, and I do have some thoughts about it. So obviously we still don't really fully know what he was talking about. Some people are saying after the fact that Estevao was left off the team sheet today that maybe he decided to discipline him and the board might have stepped in and said, hey, that's not okay, or something along those lines. Personally, I don't think that's the case because he said it after the Everton match, and we did see Estevao come off the bench in that match at least, so I don't think that would have anything to do with it. I assume it's because there's criticism about our current run of form and how poor it's been. And here's the thing, I don't know who he thinks he is. I know he's won 2 trophies for us, and great. I'm glad he did that. Again, I praised him for that because I thought he handled the Club World Cup really well. Conference League, we had the best team, so we should have won it, so I can't give him a whole lot of credit for that, but he went and won it, so that's something. But I don't know who he thinks he is that he thinks he can just get away with all of these mistakes without any criticism at all. If he really thinks he's just above any criticism because he's won trophies, I hate to tell you, that's never the case. We have seen it time and time again where some managers will win a trophy, but if they don't do well next season, they're under pressure. It's part of the job. It's your job to get this team clicking. It's your job to figure out how to run this team well, how to pick the team sheet, how to rotate properly. And from everything we've seen, you're not doing it. You haven't fixed the problems we had last season about breaking down low blocks. We're still not managing to do it. You're not rotating well. You're playing Tosin despite the fact that he's continually making mistakes and not defending well and costing us games. You continually play players out of position, despite the fact that it makes them look a lot worse, and it drops confidence whenever they put in bad performances. There are some players that need to be dropped, and you don't drop them. So there's just a lot about what you're doing here that is worthy of criticism, whether you like it or not. If I go into my job, and I don't do my work, if I destroy equipment, if I don't turn in stuff on time, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, guess what? I get criticized. I might lose my job because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. As I've said before, if I can look at this, somebody who hasn't managed at this high of a level, if I can look at your lineups and go, that's going to be a problem today, and it is, how come you can't look at it and see the same thing? I mean, just look at the match today. Look at everything he does today in this match against a League One side, and we had to narrowly beat them at the very end with a couple of great goals. So just look at the decisions he makes today that haven't worked in the past, and tell me why I'm supposed to trust him going forward. Tosin, Badiashile is your center too? That didn't work against Leeds. Trev at right back, didn't work against Leeds, but he subs him on here. Takes off Achimpong, who's been our best defender all match. Takes him off for some reason. Gusto in the midfield, didn't work against Atalanta, and I know some people say, oh, well, it worked against Everton. No. He was an inverting fullback. He started at right back, inverted into the midfield in that match. That's very different. It's a very different type of position than starting in the midfield. And guess what? He's responsible for their equalizer today. Looking at the starting 11, nobody really played well, but if I had to point out 2 of our biggest problems, Tosin's obviously one, but Gittins was the other. He was giving us absolutely nothing in the first half. He didn't get out of first gear. Another match where he's just jogging the entire time he's out there. Guess who got subbed off? George, the guy who was somehow playing better than Gittins on his weaker side. I don't think I've seen George play left wing all season. Maybe once. And he's a left winger. He's either played striker or he's played right wing. So he's playing right wing today. He's not doing terribly. He's at least giving an effort. He's not doing well, but he's putting an effort in. He's trying to take on his defender. He's trying to create something. Gittins just jogging. Legitimately had a moment where he's one-on-one with the defender, does 2 step-overs, and then tries a lazy little flick right at the defender. And it just goes into him and then he takes it away. I just gave it to him. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not trying. And guess what happens at halftime? George out, Gittins moves over into the right side. So now the player who hasn't been giving us anything on the left side, which is the stronger side, is now on the right side. And guess what? He gave us nothing. So there's just no defending any of this. And yes, it worked out today, but we're playing a League One side. Of course it worked out today. We've already seen, though, this back 2 and Trev at the right back doesn't work against Leeds. Gusto in the midfield doesn't work against Atalanta. So why are you doing it against lower sides? If you're not going to do it in any other match, which if this is a sign that he's going to try this again in future matches, then that's even more of a sign that we shouldn't trust him. But if you're not going to be doing this again because it clearly doesn't work, then why are you doing it against lower sides? It's almost like he wants to justify these stupid decisions by doing them in matches where it's obviously going to work. because the side is a League One side who we should be putting to the sword. But if you want to get technical, didn't really work. Cardiff did have some good chances. Even when it was 2-1, they had a pretty good chance to make it 2-2. And especially with Jorgensen in goal, I mean, he's definitely not a good keeper. So there's every chance they could have found a second one. And he's still, Chalobah for Achimpong. Sure, why not? Because we could lose this match, you dumbass. That's why not. So I just felt like I needed to address the issue with Maresca right now. If he really thinks he's above criticism, then he needs to get a reality check. Because no manager is. Any manager can come under criticism. Yes, some get more time than others, based on the club they're at, based on the legacy they have. You look at like Pep and Klopp, even Arteta, of course they're going to get more time because of their affiliation with the club. You don't have that connection with the club. Yes, you won us trophies, and again, that bought you some time, because I was not fully convinced by you last season. But the Club World Cup bought you some time. For some fans, it's clearly bought you a lot longer, because there's so many fans that are just desperate to keep him here for some reason, because of that one success. But the fact of the matter is, the more you continue to make these mistakes, the same mistakes as well, and lose matches, the less and less confidence you're going to have from us and from the board. And if you can't handle that, then you can't manage a club like Chelsea, because we want to be at the top. We want to be the best of the best. We want to be fighting for the title every single season. And if you're just going to make mistakes and say, hey, you can't criticize me, well, then get out. Because criticism comes with the job. That's just how it works. Any job you have to do your best. You can't just willingly go out there and make the same mistakes and go, oh, don't criticize me. I'm just out here doing my best. No, you're not. If you were doing your best, Tosin would not be anywhere near this team. He'd be training with the reserves just like Disasi. So the fact that he isn't tells me you're not actually trying your best. And again, making the subs that he made today, putting players in positions where they haven't worked in the past, to me that shows he's not learned a damn thing. And I can guarantee we'll see this again, and it'll probably cost us again in the future. But quickly going through individuals, Jorgensen, didn't do anything awful today, but he just doesn't look comfortable. Dropping crosses again, saves aren't convincing. He had one decent moment where he punched it out, but other than that, any cross that came in, I got nervous. Achimpong on the right side, I thought was our best defender today. Had a couple of moments of error in him, but overall, he made some great challenges. On the ball, looked comfortable. I think he needs to get more time at right back, but I know Maresca's not going to give him that much time, so who knows what's going to happen with him. Tosin was Tosin, so no more needed to say there. He's the worst player we have at our club at the moment. At least in the players that play, he's the worst that we have. So the fact that he continues to get time, it's unexplainable. I already said I'm putting hashtag Maresca out in my thumbnails because he played him again after the Leeds match. So he's just doubling down and saying, no, I'm going to keep playing this sorry-ass defender because I want to lose. Badiashile, last time he played against Tosin, I thought he looked poor. What a shock. He looked poor today. Looks very uncomfortable on the ball, very slow. Under high press, he looks like he's going to give it away at any moment. Defensively, he's not that strong. At this point, I think that Liverpool match where he played well, I think it's in the past. I think we can all confirm that he's just not good enough, which, I've known for a while. One game doesn't suddenly change my mind on him. But I think the hope was that maybe that would give him the confidence to become a better defender. And it's not. Hato on the left side didn't look great today. Wasn't as bad as Tosin and Badiashile, but I've definitely seen better. And I feel like a lot of that just comes down to Maresca not wanting to play him for whatever reason. Because I thought when he first started, he looked pretty good. Looked like he might have the potential to be a good backup for Cucurella and maybe even push him in a couple years. But ever since Maresca played him at left center back alongside Tosin, who we know makes everybody look worse around him, ever since that match, Maresca's just not even utilized him. Even when Cucurella clearly needed a break, didn't utilize him. And so now I feel like he's just coming in cold, rusty, hasn't really played much. Are we surprised that he put in a very bleh performance? No, not really. Caicedo looked pretty comfortable in there, maybe a little bit off it, but he hasn't played that much recently, so hopefully once he gets back into his rhythm, we'll start to see the best of him return. Santos, I thought was poor in the first half. Second half looked a bit better, got forward a bit more, and looked more creative in the final third too. George on the right side is not his comfortable side, so didn't look great, but again, more dangerous than Gittins ever was. Buonanotte, first half was awful. And it's funny because I've been calling for him to get more time because, again, I think he's a more comfortable 10 than João Pedro is. So when Palmer can't play, I think we need to be utilizing him, but Maresca just won't. And so he comes in today, and I don't think he was ready for it. Second half, stepped it up a little bit. And honestly, I know he's not top quality, but from what I've seen, he's got some potential to him. I just don't think Maresca is playing him enough to realize that potential. And I know he's not going to start over Palmer, but I still think if we played him more, if Maresca had given him more time, if Maresca had stopped playing João Pedro out of position at the 10 and utilized him more, we might actually have a player who could comfortably step in there and be effective for us going forward in these matches. But as it is, he's not played enough, and so I don't think he's really going to be up to the level we need him to be. So once again, another one on Maresca. Gittins, as I said, just nothing from him today. Didn't get above 50% in effort, just jogging around the entire time. If it wasn't for Tosin and Badiashile, he probably would have been our worst performer. I just don't understand what he's doing. What's funny is I feel like he should be working the hardest on the pitch because it's not like Garnacho has nailed down the left wing position until today. But I mean, look at the Everton match. Garnacho was dangerous, but he missed so many clear-cut chances. A lot of people were saying, oh, I just don't know about him. So Gittins, this was your chance to step up and impress. And you did nothing. You gave us absolutely nothing today. And then Garnacho comes on and scores 2 goals. So I feel like that's just it for Gittins. He's never going to be a first-team player as long as he continues to put forth no effort. And then Guiu up top, unfortunately, just another match that shows he's not the striker we need right now. I think he has a couple of performances off the bench that gets people excited to see more of him, but I think these type of matches show he doesn't have enough qualities to really help us going forward. Because as soon as João Pedro came on in the second half, suddenly we were creating chance after chance. First half, I felt like we couldn't get anything going forward because Gittins wasn't giving us anything. Buonanotte was constantly losing the ball. George was getting on the ball but not creating much in the final third. And then Guiu, I don't remember him doing anything. So it just felt like a front four that wasn't going to help us. So as far as the subs, Garnacho came on, did help. Pedro came on, did help. For Garnacho, I thought he provided a lot more going down that left side. He actually took on players he was willing to run in behind, whereas Gittins just felt like he didn't want to get out of first gear. João Pedro was much more involved, held the ball up better, flicked on the ball several times. Again, I think a lot of people don't give him enough credit for what he can do up there. It's just we haven't seen enough of him playing with players who will get in behind him or give him help. I think today he had that a bit more because Buonanotte, while it wasn't his best performance, he was there. He was in those positions, so when he won the ball, João Pedro, he had somebody to play it to. Instead of an 8 who's still way back behind the play, now Buonanotte is right there and he can lay it off to him and then try to make a run in behind. Neto came on for Gittins and obviously got himself a goal. It just provided us a little bit more on that right side that we needed. Gusto came on in the midfield and once again let a guy run in behind him to get a goal, so it's what he does. And then Chalobah came in at right back, and like I said, he's not a right back. Don't know why Maresca wants to continue playing him there. It didn't work against Leeds, and so yeah, let's try it again. So overall, I'm still frustrated. It's a win. I'm glad we're through to the next round, but I just can't stand this manager at the moment. Because not only is he making all these stupid decisions, but it feels like he's doing it willingly, and then he gets upset whenever criticism comes his way. Even though we're not doing great in the league right now, this was definitely not a stellar performance against a League One side. And again, the worst player on the pitch continues to get minutes for no reason whatsoever. So again, I know this will upset the toxic positivity Maresca fanboys, but it is what it is. You know, we win a match, sure, great, but he's still making the same mistakes. And as long as he continues to do that, I can't trust him because he's going to make those mistakes against better teams and those teams will put us away and we're going to get beaten. We're going to drop points more. And I don't want that to happen. So until he learns his lessons, I can't trust him, unfortunately. But those are all of my thoughts, so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the match today? Let me know what you can talk about and discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea previews, reviews, and talks. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.